Hello and welcome to the CDAO Magazine interview series. I'm Nino Tariello, President of the Italian Data Management Association and coordinator of the EMEA region, as well as a partner of the CDAO Magazine editorial board and MIT CDAO IQ Symposium. I'm here today with Credem, and we are participating with the CDAO Magazine and the International Society of Chief Data Office in a series of interviews. So welcome, Stefano, and nice to see you. Can you start speaking a little bit about yourself and about Credem, please?
Hello, thank you so much, Nino. It's a pleasure to be with you. I am a Chief Data and Analytics Officer of the Credem Group. I have a long experience in IT, risk management, wealth management, all sectors where you have to work with a lot of data. Passionate about data, but even more passionate about people who work in the data world, and it is for this reason that I work in Credem. Credem Group is more than 100-year-old. Is one of the main Italian banks and also one of the most reliable banks in Europe. Group covers the whole of Italy and operates with its 14 companies which specialize in different sectors such as wealth management, leasing, factoring, credit services like loan of mortgages and insurance. As you can imagine, our group keeps a very large quantity of data.
Well, absolutely. And thank you for the introduction. It's quite challenging, I'm sure. So speaking about all the data you are managing, I'm sure you will have to face the data governance challenge. So how did you address the governance bit of it?
Like many others, we have begun to address the issue in a structured way with the guidelines defined by surveillance authorities, which has begun to talk about data governance. It has begun to define the rules that the various institutes have to follow to govern the quality of their data. As somebody might ask, when the bank already doing this, when the analysis being checked, wasn't somebody already pay attention to the quality of the information being disclosed? The answer is obviously yes, but the authorities have asked the organization involved to structure this process, but even more importantly, to report this factor as part of the bank's risk and more precisely in operational risk. At the moment, the real opportunity is the better way. We realize the importance of valuing and sharing our knowledge about our information assets to create what? A value for our customers. The context is which we work is characterized by various factors in which data and technology are constantly changing. I think 59 zettabytes of data is the IDC estimate for this 2020 made in May, which we certainly is be excited by the final balance. We are flooded with information, which we only use in part. It's estimated that the bank only uses 50% of the information they have available, only 50%. And this does not necessarily mean 50% is used well. Anyway, the information governance model or data governance that you have developed places emphasis on two main objectives: utility and adaptability. Useful of every process, role, techniques, and tools is present in the system only because it is essential to cover specific business objectives and requirements in terms of compliance or support for corporate value. Adaptable goals and requirements which vary over time. Consequently, the information governance system adapt with changes and if possible anticipate and supports them, adapting its metadata, processes, role, techniques, tools to the real needs and challenges of the moment. A real service-oriented approach. The simple regulatory exercise could no longer be the goal, but is the means to create value for our customer, for our company.
It's so fascinating. Thank you, Stefano. And sorry, I just want to pick up on your last point on the create value. So I know it's quite a complex exercise and it's not as easy to enable, to activate. So especially when you talk about data. So, but I know it's a challenge. So, is something you are addressing, or is something you are succeeding to? And if so, would you mind just to tell us a little bit more about this?
Yeah. First of all, you started from the concept that data has no value. It is the cost. Direct in the infrastructures and its management, indirect because if not interpreted correctly, is lead to making wrong decision for our group. We must no longer to talk about the value of data, but begin to be aware that the value is generated by data. But who generates the value? The data scientist over the years has been seen as the domain expert and experts in mathematics, programming, and we also claim to be a communication expert. But do we really want to make this poor data scientist do all these things? Let him do what he's really good at. In Credem, we have started to read a path to identify the different profile necessary to create value from data. We have dispelled the myth of the all-around data scientist able to operate in all phases of data analysis. The data scientist-centric approach is the waste of resource, as it entails following trend and having very little understanding of this world. Returning to our group, we have identified mainly 5 profiles that participate in the enhancement of our information assets. Information governor that govern information, data analysts that extract information from data engineer that organize the data scientists that take partner in data, information designer know how to convey information. Each has specific skills on tools, programming languages, or techniques. All these components, these characteristics, show a skill differentiates us as professionals and as people. It is important to understand that people who work in the world of data cannot make the same contribution to everyone, because everyone has different talent. So you understand the skills that were associated with the data scientists are actually skills that can be associated with different profiles. This does not mean that a person is either a data engineer or a data scientist. It can be both, but you need to have a specific talent to represent both. Knowing how to recognize them means knowing how to value them.
Nice. Again, an interesting perspective. Start with the person and their skills. So a validation of the individual, the professionalism as well, which again, I think. Thank you for sharing that. So, if you look at your experience or your experience in Credem, when do you think a data or a data set is generating this value, this added value for the company?
When does data generated value? When it turning into information, knowledge, wisdom, but how much work is necessary to transform data into value? We can estimate that the work necessary to transform data into value using the percentage. I think around 60% for developing information, 30% for knowledge, and 10% for wisdom. To create the maximum value from data is necessary to carry out all these steps, a linear process to limit the risk associated with this information. If I don't have accurate data, if I not integrate the information correctly, if I don't know the intrinsic meaning of all the information, for example, what is the value of risk, what is an adjusted duration, what is the bid price. If I don't know how to present the result effectively, even the best model in the world will not bring me any value, more probably a cost. In Credem, in the data world, we are not looking for know-it-all, someone who know everything, or worse, someone who thinks he know everything. But we are looking for people with talents, with skill that we want to develop. This is the foundation behind the team. Everyone brings their skill, their talent to reach the objective. So the team always wins. This is the message. Know the profile of your company, know the skill that can express, value your colleague. This is an element are necessary to create culture, to create value for your company.
As you answer with the culture element. Now, culture is, well, I'm sure in your experience well, but is important in any fields and is not limited to data, of course. But specifically when you talk about data, it's something that a lot of companies are a little bit struggling because it often clash with the company culture itself. So there are this data culture that should, to an extent, overlap, or align to the one of the company itself. So especially on that, and I've seen many international or national, international realities that have to strike the right balance. So can you talk us a little bit more about how you have addressed this and how you were able to align the data culture to your company culture?
Yes, culture comes from cultivating ideas, enhancing skill, enhancing contribution. Creating a culture of data is not something that we do simply because it is nice, but is a must if we want to go beyond the company silos that limit the immense possibilities that our company can express. A few years ago, we launched the data community with some colleagues of our group, our data community of data heroes. Today represent the best practice on the banking scene. This all started with some meeting in which several colleagues expressed the need to discuss cross-cutting issues such as data analysis and management. The word want is still the foundation of this data community. Wanting to share your experience in the world of data. Data is everywhere. A new type of data are created all the time. Remember, IDC estimated we are inundated with the data and information. So we started organizing a moment of comparison for the world of data with a clear message. You only participate if you want to. Wanting and not having to. The first, we found ourselves with about 20 colleagues. In only a few years, the community has grown and evolved. And today we have about 500 colleagues from different areas of the company and from different group companies who participate and who want to make their contribution. People are interested in the world of data, who interact with either other regardless of their role or their duties. I want to emphasize this concept because people express themselves hierarchically within the community for their skill, and even more so for the way they help others through this skill. Earlier I mentioned an evolution. The community was created with the aim of sharing experience. Today this community is living organism. Of our organization has so strongly influenced corporate decision. It has become operational in solving problems. It has become a tactic in organizing itself in the face of issues that company has experienced and experiencing. It is starting to lay the foundation for becoming strategic in transforming our company more and more into the data-driven company. Over time, numerous events have been created. Our Data Day and Data Tea, for example, with free participation, have covered topics relating to data governance, data visualization, artificial intelligence. Many colleagues participate enthusiastically at this and learning something new or deepening the existing knowledge. Some brands of Data Hero brands have also been created, such as Data Hero Cafe or Data Hero Academy, in which the bank employees have developed a series of courses on languages such as Python, R, or specific areas such as information design and artificial intelligence. In 2020, 10 courses were launched in which over 300 colleagues took part. Expertise that create culture. This is the point. Some colleagues have found a team to face some cultural challenges. For example, the artificial intelligence data hero teams, whose mission is to promote new areas of application in the world of artificial intelligence within our group. Several datathons have been launched, launches at Data Hero for development of advanced analytics. Lastly, a team that called themselves the Fantastic Four won with a model for identifying financial market indicator. And I am sure that in this moment, new initiatives are being born. The self-sustaining group with a single goal to enhance the skill of its colleagues. Data Hero is not born but made. It doesn't matter who you are, but what you are, the skill you have, but above all, how you use this skill, the contribution you can make with these skills. Passion and responsibility. Living your professional life for something more than yourself, it is the choice. It's the path that some of our colleagues have taken, is the Data Hero journey. So what does it mean to create a data culture? For me, it means enhancing the skill of your colleague. It means enhancing the resource that the company make available to you. It means enhancing your information asset and therefore enhancing your company. This is for this reason that creating the data culture is not simply nice to have, but a duty.
Thank you, Stephen. It's very inspiring, actually, and it's a very good example of of community coming from the bottom or coming from the involvement of all of those. Just a curiosity, you spoke about Data Hero, and I see you have a nice jumper on you. Is that something to do with your community?
Yes, absolutely.
That's great. Well, Stefano, thank you very much for your time today, and thank you for joining me. And please, to all of the others, please visit other additional interviews on cdomagazine.tech, and bye.